My dearest, there's something I need to share with you that has weighed heavily on my heart for some time. I didn't walk away from a relationship because I wanted to, nor did I intend for it to end. Leaving was never my choice, but circumstances outside of my control forced my hand. I want you to know that every step I took was driven by my desire to protect you, even though I know my actions may have caused you pain. In hindsight, I wish I could have found a way to explain myself sooner, but I was under intense pressure to remain silent, and the consequences of not doing so were too great to ignore. At the time, there was someone else involved, someone whose identity I won't disclose. This person, through means I could not resist, influenced my decision to leave you. They warned me of severe repercussions if I didn't comply, and I felt trapped, as though I was being held hostage by the weight of their threats. The thought of you being hurt, of you suffering because of a choice I made, was unbearable. So, I made the difficult and painful decision to walk away. Leaving you without a word, without an explanation, was never what I wanted. In fact, it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. But I convinced myself that staying away was the best way to keep you safe from harm. For a long time, I believed that my silence was necessary, that by staying away from you, I was sparing you from a fate that neither of us deserved. It tore me apart to keep this distance, to live in silence while my heart still longed for you. There were countless nights I lay awake, wondering if you were okay, if you missed me, if you were hurt or confused by my absence. Every part of me wanted to reach out, to comfort you, to explain why I had to leave so suddenly. But I was bound by the promises I made, promises made under duress yet intended to shield you from harm. I know now that my silence may have caused you more pain than I could have imagined. At the time, I hoped you would move on, find peace, and eventually understand that my leaving was never a reflection of my feelings for you. I can only imagine how confusing and hurtful it must have been for you, feeling abandoned without a reason. For that, I am truly sorry. You deserved so much better than to be left with unanswered questions and no explanation for my sudden disappearance. Now, with some distance from that painful period, I realize that you deserve the truth. You deserve to understand what led me to make the choices I did, and you deserve to know that my love for you has not wavered, even after all this time. It's as strong and genuine as it ever was, and the thought of finally being able to tell you the truth brings me a sense of relief, even though I know it may be difficult for you to hear. I only hope that, in time, you might find it in your heart to forgive me for the pain my absence may have caused. Please know that my actions were always rooted in a desire to keep you safe. I wish I could have found a way to handle things differently, but in that moment, I felt as though there was no other choice. The person who influenced my decision is no longer a part of my life, and the threats they made are no longer looming over us. I have spent so much time hoping for the day when I could reach out to you without fear and be honest about why I had to leave. I understand if you need time to process this, if you feel angry or hurt. All I ask is that you take as much time as you need. I'll be here, ready to answer any questions you may have and to talk when you feel ready. I want to offer you clarity and closure, not only for your sake, but for mine as well. Carrying this secret alone has been a heavy burden, and I am hopeful that, by sharing this with you, we can both find some peace. Thank you for listening, for being patient, and for allowing me the chance to finally open up to you. My love for you remains, and no matter what you decide, I will always cherish the time we had together. Please take all the time you need, and know that whenever you're ready to talk, I will be here. The most painful realization I have now is just how selfish I've been with you. When we were together, I never truly acknowledged your feelings or took the time to understand what you needed. I was so wrapped up in my own concerns and self-obsession that I couldn't reciprocate the way a true partner should. Instead of giving back, I took more than I gave, letting you carry the weight of our relationship alone. I allowed it to seem as if you were the one hopelessly in love with me, while I remained distant and emotionally removed. Now, looking back, I realized that I knew exactly what I was doing, even as I pretended otherwise. I let you love me wholeheartedly, without matching that love, and everyone around us could see it. Your warmth and generosity were evident to everyone but me. My negativity, selfishness, and constant need for control left you feeling unseen, causing you to slowly close off your heart. At the time, I never considered that you would ever truly walk away from me. I was so sure you'd stay, convinced that you couldn't even go a single day without me. I underestimated you. I assumed you'd always be there, never imagining a life where you'd focus on your own happiness rather than mine. But now, everything has shifted between us. You've dedicated yourself to improving your life, while I find myself fixated on you, longing for the connection we once had. It's ironic, almost as if the roles have reversed. Now, I am the one watching you from afar, feeling the depth of what I lost, realizing that no one could take your place, and hoping that no one else comes close enough to try. I see how tirelessly you're working to create a better future for yourself, even though the pain of my inconsistency and indifference must weigh heavily on you. You've told me before that you feel like our relationship lacks growth, that you feel invisible and unimportant to me. In moments of honesty, you've shared that it seems I don't care, that I've lost interest in us. But that couldn't be further from the truth. I do care deeply. I see now that I let my actions and dismissiveness distort the truth, making you feel like you weren't loved. I want you to know that what we had meant everything to me. I was just too blinded by my own flaws to show it. I ask you to look beyond the past and try to see us from a new perspective. People can change, my love, and I have. I'm no longer the person I once was, and I see things now that I couldn't see before. Now, I believe in something bigger, in a universal pull that shows us where we belong. I trust that you and I were meant to share something extraordinary, but to get there, I know I must let go of my fears, my pride, and all the defenses that held me back. I am ready to let my love for you grow and heal, to build it on a foundation of respect and humility. I understand now that love isn't about control, and that I have to step aside to let you be fully you while giving you the support you've always deserved. I know exactly what I need to do, and I am prepared to make it right. You've taken on so much of the emotional weight that I should have carried from the beginning. Instead of supporting you, I let you give selflessly, never considering that you might one day need a break, that you might feel drained and unappreciated. You've played the role that I should have fulfilled, and yet you did it with such grace, without expecting anything in return. Now, it's my turn to do right by you. I want you to step back and relax. I am ready to take responsibility, to show you the love and care that you have always given me. I want to prove to you that everything you poured into this relationship, every ounce of love and energy, was not in vain. Your love was never selfish, never tainted by ulterior motives. You gave everything to me without ever asking for anything back, and I realize now how rare and precious that is. I promise you that all the things you may have lost along the way, your self-respect, dignity, pride, will be restored. I am committed to earning back your trust and making sure you feel valued, appreciated, and loved. It's time for me to give back to you, to show that I understand the depth of your love and to be the partner you always deserved. I hope, someday, you can see that I am no longer the person I was, that I am ready to be the partner you need, and that together we can heal and move forward.